It is Tuesday, July 5, 2016. Welcome to the Government News Brief. In the news, 37th regular meeting of heads of government of CARICOM continues in Georgetown, Guyana to host the Hague Convention later this month, and more youths trained in leadership skills. Stay tuned for the details of these and other stories. Thank you for staying with us. I am Azim Khan. Here are the details. CARICOM integration takes center stage again at the 37th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community. Here is that report.
CARICOM heads yesterday reaffirmed their commitment to regional integration to make the community work for the benefit of all the peoples of the Caribbean region. CARICOM heads of state are currently in Guyana for the 37th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government. Incoming chairman of CARICOM is Prime Minister of Dominica, Roosevelt Skerrit.
Colleague heads of government, ladies and gentlemen, some of us may be ambivalent and hesitant about the closer relationship of CARICOM, but let us not resolve to blindly imitate what happened in Britain a few days ago. Let us instead work together to strengthen our cooperation and collaboration to create a stronger, more vibrant community.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, said, contrary to the level of negativity that pervades in the Caribbean regarding CARICOM, tremendous progress has been made in the integration movement.
The authors of these opinions do not take into account what the treaty, the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, is about, and the tremendous progress which has been made in the integration movement, despite the weaknesses and limitations in that very movement. And they fail to acknowledge the strengths and possibilities therein.
The three-day conference will focus on addressing issues which have an impact on the community both from within and outside of the region. Issues include the correspondent banking and de-risking being practiced by international banks, strengthening of CARICOM-Cuba relations, the border relations between Guyana and Venezuela, Belize and Guatemala, and the ongoing Haiti-Dominican Republic matter. CARICOM Secretary General, Ambassador Erwin LaRocque, speaks to the issue of integration.
Today is CARICOM Day, marking 43 years since the Treaty of Chaguaramas was signed. As we celebrate this day, we can look back with pride on the progress of our integration process and forward with confidence to what we can continue to achieve together. As a grouping of small, vulnerable states, it is integration that will allow us to achieve the level of development that our people desire.
The heads met with Chile's President, Michelle Bachelet, as the two sides seek to strengthen areas of common interest, including disaster preparedness and climate change. For this Government News Brief, Namila Baines-Rowe.
Trade and bilateral relations between Latin America and the Caribbean have moved one step further, with Chilean President Michelle Bachelet engaging the heads of governments of the Caribbean community. President Bachelet and her delegation were received at the Chedijagan International Airport by Guyana's Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu. Guyana and other CARICOM countries have over the years shared cordial relations with Chile. Hence, the invitation to President Bachelet to attend the Heads of Government Conference is aimed at strengthening ties with the South American countries. The late Trinidadian Prime Minister Patrick Manning's integration efforts hailed at CARICOM's 37 Heads meeting. Details in this report.
CARICOM heads gathered in Georgetown for the 37th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government pay homage to the accomplished politician. The former Prime Minister, who died on Saturday, was hailed as an outstanding son of the region who selflessly contributed to its integration movement. CARICOM Secretary General Erwin LaRocque.
It is only fitting that at the outset we should pay tribute to a true champion of CARICOM, the late Mr. Patrick Manning, former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, who passed away last Saturday. Mr. Manning was a member of the conference for a total of 13 years, and in that time, he demonstrated an unwavering commitment to the Caribbean community. The initiatives he promoted to advance integration ensures that his legacy as a regionalist is secure.
Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, says Manning's passing represents an enormous loss to the community, the entire Caribbean region and the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Mr. Manning will be remembered as a visionary, a patriot, and a Caribbean man who was committed to excellence and to the Caribbean community. In this vein, I know that I will continue Mr. Manning's legacy.
Also paying homage to the late Trinidadian Prime Minister was the incoming chairman of CARICOM, Prime Minister of Dominica Roosevelt Skerrit, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, and President of Suriname, Desi Bouterse. Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves.
Patrick was a famous man. All the earth is a sepulchre. His virtues are not written in stone at home or elsewhere, but in the hearts and minds of ordinary men and women across this region, and we shall remember him forever.
A moment of silence was observed in honor of Manning. Manning was Prime Minister of the Twin Island Republic from 1991 to 1995 and again from 2001 to 2010. Manning, 69, passed away at the San Fernando General Hospital after being admitted with fever. Following a battery of tests, doctors discovered that Manning had acute myeloid leukemia, a very rare, very aggressive cancer of the blood involving bone marrow and red and white blood cell tissues. For the Government News Brief, I'm Tiffany Rogers.
The results of the National Grade 6 Assessment written on April 27 and 28, 2016 were released today by Education Minister Dr. Rupert Hoopnarine. The top position was shared by Anthony Ferreira of Maize Under 12 and Aryan Singh of Dharmic Ramakrishna with a score of 568 marks. Third position was gained by Serena Razak of Graham's Hall Primary with 565 marks. Chelsea Barnes of Success Elementary with 563 marks took fourth position. Securing the fifth position was Arun Suknarine of Dharmic Ramakrishna with 562 marks. Halia Agard of Success Elementary gained the sixth position with 561 marks. The seventh position was shared by 5 candidates: Indi Ramprasad of Success Elementary, Justin Sitaran of Success Elementary, Jonathan Changa of Leonora Primary, Divya Nandalal of Maize Under 12, and Lemul Asing of the New Guyana School. The Government Information Agency congratulates these students and offers best wishes for a successful future. Guyana, in collaboration with UNICEF, is set to host the Hague Convention Conference on Private, International and Family Law. Details in this Paul McAdam report.
Most of the countries from the Caribbean and several from South America will participate in the high-level Hague Conference. The event will be attended by Attorney Generals, judges and members of the judiciary, including representatives from the Caribbean Court of Justice, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, and Supreme Courts across the region. Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Basil Williams.
We will have Brazil, because as we say, we're dealing with cross-border countries, and Venezuela. We have Aruba, Cayman Islands, Turks and Caicos, Curacao. So, and in fact, this thing is, the participation is spreading like wildfire.
The Legal Affairs Minister explained that after he attended a similarly themed meeting in Trinidad and Tobago, he realized it was important that Guyana take up membership in the Hague Conference.
And also be a party to the many treaties that they have which affect children, like abduction, adoption, custody, maintenance, and the like. And then you have questions of commerce, legal cooperation, of course, human rights, and a variety of other conventions that are very relevant to us in Guyana. Now, there are questions like apostille, where once you're a signatory to the treaty, a signature in Guyana, once it's done in the proper way, would be a signature that is recognized any part of the world.
One major benefit, the Attorney General says, is that by signing on to the Hague Convention, businesses in Guyana will be enhanced. Technical aspects of the conference will allow local judges access to a network of their counterparts internationally. UNICEF is a co-sponsor of the conference. UNICEF resident representative to Guyana, Marion Flagg.
From UNICEF's side, we are extremely pleased that we have been able to establish this partnership with the government of Guyana.
The Hague Conference formally opens with a reception at the Pegasus Hotel on July 13th. 2 days of working sessions will follow. These sessions will be chaired by several legal luminaries and business leaders with representative stakeholders in attendance. The event will close with a cultural presentation highlighting Guyana's culture for many of the first-time visitors. Paul McAdam, Government News Brief.
More youths are given the opportunity to upgrade and empower themselves, as we hear in this Isaiah Braffett report.
The youth participated in a 2-week leadership training program at the Madawini Training Center in Yarracabra. Advisor to the President and Youth Empowerment, Aubrey Norton, says the program was developed to tap into youth potential.
In this program, they were exposed to leadership qualities and leadership, to management. They were exposed to public speaking, effective communications, decision making, problem solving, and a number of issues that we believe will contribute to the development of their leadership skills.
So youths are now aware of the impact they could have on higher authority now that they have the necessary skills. Minister within the Ministry of Education, Nicolette Henry, points out the role they could play in Guyana's development.
The knowledge behind you can influence decision makers to pay more attention to the issues that affect young people. You have the right to demand this for the sustainable development of your respective communities and Guyana as a whole. You have been empowered and therefore should be able to contribute and benefit from the country's development. You are now in a position to ask yourselves what you can do for this beautiful country, instead of asking what Guyana can do for you.
Graduates of the program shared their experience.
The program meant a lot to me. It was very significant, and it equipped me with the necessary skills needed to become an effective leader. I can fairly say that I will definitely go back to my community and make the most powerful impact ever.
The program was very nice, interested, and so far I think it would help the young people when we reach back out there to teach the young people what we learned and what we could develop inside the community.
It focused on several key areas as youth leaders in terms of strengthening our skills so that we can go back into our communities. One of those areas is like conducting meetings. We were told the normal procedure in terms of electing of a chairperson, the role of a chairperson, the role of a vice chair, the role of secretaries.
Approximately 150 youths have thus far graduated from the training program. It is part of a larger thrust towards youth development. Now that the National Youth Policy has been laid, many such initiatives are in the pipeline to be executed. Isaiah Braffett for the Government News Brief.
5 more hinterland communities receive grants to embark on green sustainable projects. Details in this report.
Chulinab, Mokomoko, Mururunau and St. Ignatius villages are the most recent recipients of $1.5 million each, while Parkwarnau received $1.2 million for the green sustainable projects under the Jubilee Grant Fund. Mokomoko is embarking on a livestock project, St. Ignatius cattle rearing, Chulinab development of farmlands, Mururunau furnishing of community benab and documentation of village history, and Parkwarnau the construction of a community benab. These communities are also benefiting from training in the areas of management and transparency and accountability to ensure that their projects are properly managed and executed. Minister Alicock explains.
Leaders must have vision. So you will help the community to have following up on that vision. But having vision alone without the will, you must have willpower. You have the vision, you have the willpower, and not only the willpower, you might have the willpower but you don't know what to do. So you must have the skill. So you have vision, will, skill, and the power of sustainability. So I'd just like to share it with you. You don't have to take it, but think about it. And in that way, you will be able to grow with your program. You will be able to say when this term, your term in office comes, there will be a continuity. And not to do like some communities. Lots of funding was spent, take for example, on a project like tourism. One to show bill, cost a lot. The next to show came in and destroyed it. It didn't cost them one thing to destroy. Well, they never came to say, well, we spent so much to destroy it. They just went and they destroyed. But to build back, they're coming out to say they want to do another design. This is unacceptable. We cannot continue to put money into a dark hole.
To mark Guyana's 50th independence anniversary, 212 communities are slated to receive up to $2 million to embark on green sustainable projects by the end of 2016. Over 40 communities has thus far received funds to commence projects. This initiative was designed to create economic independence within Amerindian communities and to move away from the culture of receiving handouts. For the Government News Brief, Seneca Thorne reporting.
That concludes today's edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories are on GINA's website. We have recently revamped our website to make it more user-friendly. Please help us by providing feedback on how we can make your browsing experience better. You can submit your feedback at info@gina.gov.gy or by liking and following us on Facebook. We encourage you to stay updated and subscribe to our website and YouTube channel. Do join us again tomorrow when we bring you another edition of this, the Government News Brief. Thank you for watching.